This is TWiT.
Jason, you had a good trip?
Yeah.
Get a good briefing from Apple?
Good time. I don't know what you're talking about. Shelley Brisbane got a briefing about something we're going to talk about today. This is the
accessibility,
because this is where they pull the accessibility features that are going in the new OS forward from WWDC and talk about them for Global Accessibility Day. So we did get a briefing on that one.
Yeah,
they've done that before, haven't they? This has been, I think. Yep. It's becoming a pattern, yeah.
It is.
Third Thursday in May is Global Accessibility Awareness Day.
Yeah.
And so they usually time it there. A lot of good stuff this time.
Yeah,
I mean, there's good stuff all the time, but this is particularly interesting.
There's so we got 18.5 and what was the new Mac OS 15 point something?
15.5.
5 also. So they're in the 0.5 release, which means we're halfway to heaven in September. But these are kind of the final releases of those operating systems.
We're halfway through digging ourselves out of the mess we made with the last 0.0 release.
That's Siri hole.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. But there are some new accessibility features. Where do you want to start? CarPlay? What was Shelley most excited about? Let's put it that way.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot going on here. There's
nutrition labels.
Nutrition labels. Yeah, I think that they're gonna. It's self-reporting, so we'll see how it goes. But the idea is that when you look on an app in the App Store, you can actually see directly what accessibility features that app claims. And as Shelley put it, this is a big deal because it makes it a lot clearer up front before you even download the app. The way she put it is whether the developer prioritizes accessibility, because a lot of developers just don't even think about it and they won't fill out the labels. And so you'll be like, oh, that's not great. So it's going to be just like with the privacy and security nutrition labels. You'll now be able to see at a glance if these apps in the App Store support accessibility features.
There will be, of course, pressure from users if you misrepresent your accessibility. I presume the nutrition label is accessible.
I would. How could it not be?
Wouldn't that be ironic?
The other big one is a little bit of a head scratcher if you don't think about the use case, which is Magnifier, which is an app that's been available as an accessibility feature on iOS for a while, coming to the Mac, and it'll actually use continuity camera. And I heard from a colleague of mine who said
this is not
she's got low vision.
Yeah. Or is it? It is. This is in the Magnifier app.
So the idea is she said she always used to sit at the front of her classes in high school and college because she couldn't see the board. And this is a way you can actually sit there with the camera facing out and your computer.
That's so cool.
And you can magnify areas and you can see what's on the projector and you can see what's on the whiteboard, and all of that can be zoomed in and enhanced from your phone sitting facing outward on your desk, it's pretty cool. I mean, they maybe they should put a camera on the other side of the computer at some point, but they've got these pieces, right? They've got Magnifier, they've got continuity camera, and they're kind of putting that together so that low vision users can do that.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and there's something a little bit similar with Accessibility Reader, which is one of the things that I got really excited about, because it's often said that accessibility features often can improve the experience for everybody, not just the people who need accessibility features. This is one of the big ones for me, like on my Android phone, where Accessibility Reader will basically say, well, here's what's on the screen. Okay, I'm going to reformat it so that the text is big and isolated, doesn't have any distractions on it. That's going to be big, sharp, white letters on a dark background. The user is going to be able to adjust the font size and all the kind of things to make it more readable, which is obviously a really good thing for people who require that feature. It's also like kind of a hack, because anytime I'm on my phone and I'm trying to read an article, but there are so many layers of freaking ads and pop-ups that I can't navigate through it. If I just simply touch this feature on my Android phone, it just says, oh, well, it figures out, here's the actual text of the article, and simply isolates it on, white letters on a black background, and suddenly I can actually read the darn thing.
That's fantastic. This image from the Apple press release shows a student with her phone pointed at the book, at the top of the book, and I don't, is that continuity camera? Yeah. I'm not sure what it is, and then it's so cool because then it turns it into plain text that's Big screen, white on black, high contrast.
I love that we're starting this way too, because so often the show, especially these last few weeks, right, has been kind of rough about Apple and Apple's behavior and courts and rulings and all sorts of things like that. And I saw somebody on, I think, Mastodon or Blue Sky this morning who linked to the Apple press release in the newsroom about this and said, "This is Apple at its best." And I mean, it's easy to be cynical. There are a lot of things going on, including Apple behavior that a lot of us might not like.
We'll get to Glenn Fleischman's piece in just a little bit.
But they're not wrong. This stuff is Apple at its best. I really do believe.
Yes. I will also point out that Google and Microsoft are very, very good in this arena.
Well, I'm not saying compared to others. I'm saying this is Apple's best self.
Companies need to do this, and I think what's great is that all of the big companies understand that and do that. I mean, Microsoft does amazing things with its Xbox controllers, and I mean, accessibility is very good, as you point out, Andy, in Android. Apple leads the way a little bit, though. I don't think Android has anything like this magnifier. I think that's fantastic.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about the best way to phrase it. This is one area in like security in which both Apple and Google are very, very happily competing with each other. Where if you've spoken to the teams on each company, they don't hide that. Ooh, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Or ooh, we were going to do something like that, but let's bump that up in priority. Like I said, like that reader feature, I've seen it's coming to the iPhone and iOS and Mac. I've had it on Android for a while. That doesn't mean that Apple's falling behind. It's that there are a lot of things to tackle. They're very, very serious about this. And if at some point they saw this feature on Android, said, "Ooh, that's a great feature. Let's do it." That's good. I don't think that's what happened, because they have enough engineers inside Apple that know what is needed and what should be done, that they are pursuing it on their own timeline.
Blind Wiz in our club TWiT, who from his handle I assume is a wizard, says that Apple is better than Google by huge strides. Google's screen reader TalkBack sucks in comparison to Apple's VoiceOver, but he does say, or she says, accessibility is why I'm a huge Apple fan. So, and this is also new, and I don't know how to describe this, but there's a Braille experience called Braille Access that turns the iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Vision Pro into a full-featured Braille note taker. Now, I presume you have to have a Braille screen reader or something so that you can read the Braille, right? There's no raised dots on the phone. But it's pretty cool that it does turn it into Braille.
Yeah, there are Braille accessories. I'm sure that other people are more wise about this than I am. But yeah, this is the problem, that people who don't rely on these kind of inputs and accessories, it's an entirely invisible part of the experience.
Right.
But it's essential to a large proportion of the user base.
Yeah, Blind Wiz says he has a Braille reader attached to the phone and or Braille display, I guess you'd call it. So he and probably not the phone. I'm guessing Blind Wiz is to a Mac. He's actually participating in our Club TWiT Discord in Braille. That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Does it keep up? That's really amazing. Wow. Because sometimes that Discord can get pretty quick, but he's able to participate. I think that's thank you. Live captions arrive on the Apple Watch. That's really interesting. So you could look, if somebody's staring at their watch, it's not because they're bored with you. It's because they want to see what you're saying, I guess. Wow. The iPhone Live Listen turns the iPhone into a remote microphone, which then streams content to AirPods made for iPhone hearing aids or Beats headphones. And when the session's active on iPhone, users can view live captions of what their iPhone is hearing on the paired Apple Watch while listening along to the audio.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly Apple takes this to where some of the other headsets have already gone, which is translation, like really like live translation to your AirPods, where, it's not just a hearing aid. You just hear every language around you as if in whatever your natural language is. This, by the way, lends some credence to what Mark Gurman has been saying about Apple working on some sort of glasses. You can imagine maybe cameras in your AirPods or cameras in your glasses.
the things that Apple does. Yeah, Apple, very secretive company. We all know that. That's not a secret. But here is I wanted more laughter there. Please clap. Anyway, thank you. Oh, no. You're too kind. No,
somewhere I have
the
a
Big
sound
Bang
effect. Just
Theory
give me a
audiences are
moment,
the
okay?
greatest
Bazinga,
fake
but
audiences
what-
in the world.
But
Just
what
give me a minute
Apple
here.
does is they do build foundational technologies for future products in public, right? And sometimes when we talk about
That's not
thank
it.
you.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes when we talk about Apple's future rumors, right? You can start to look around and see features that are laying there that are like, oh yeah, you take that and
Hiding
that and
in
that
plain
and that,
sight. Yeah.
and there they are, and that's because they can't. Not only do a lot of those features have utility on other Apple devices, but they can't build it all like at once. So they build it in pieces, and they know what they're building toward. And sometimes you can see the shapes of it. I did not have brain reading on my bingo card for today, but there's the Wall Street Journal did a report today about how a company called Synchron that uses neural signals, and they're gonna build that into switch control in in Apple's OSs.
Wow.
And that's the idea of being able to have a brain signal
Think it.
input device for people who are obviously very mobility restricted.
If you
And
can
that just
think
shows
it,
you how
can type it.
forward-thinking a lot of their work is. That there is right now there is no. My understanding from the Wall Street Journal article is that there is no device specifically that this is designed to support. They are simply laying the groundwork so that when this technology does mature, hopefully imminently, there will be a standard that Apple has created that people who are developing this hardware and the software can conform to, so that it will be part of Apple's accessibility package from the get-go.
Yeah. Very, very cool.